The biggest difference between the poor and the rich is always known as money. But in reality, it is not the money that is the biggest difference. In this video, I'm going to be giving you the 11 biggest difference that makes those poor people remain poor, and what makes the rich becomes very, very rich in life. It first starts with one, the mindset. Yes, the mindset is very, very powerful. Both the poor and the rich do trial and error, but there is one big thing that makes the difference. I'm going to be mentioning it at the number 11. Do well to save this video and come back and follow it again. One, now this mindset starts with how the poor perceive money. The poor perceive money as evil. I have a practical example of what I'm going to be saying now. I met someone, and during a discussion I asked him what is the history of money. I brought out a particular amount of money and I showed him. Trust me, what was the first answer he gave me? He said the root of money is evil. That means this person will never come out of poverty even in the next 100 years to come. And trust me, it is a reality, because I have seen this person go after people to beg over and over and over and over again. Now, while these poor people see money as the root of all evil, or they see money as evil, the rich on the other side see money as a tool of freedom. That is the unfortunate reality, and I have tested it and I have seen it. The first time I made a realistic amount of money online, using my case as an example, the little money I had, instead of just wasting it, I used it to learn a particular skill. That skill become a tool for me, which I use that skill later on to offer a service to people who later pay me money in return. And the money I later got paid back for the money I used in learning that skill. Until today, I'm still using it to make more money from people. So you now see, you now see how the gap is being drawn, and that is how the cycle is being repeated. Now, while this poor person continue to repeat that cycle of seeing money as a root of evil, the rich people in their own hand, they continue to use money to get more things, which they later use to collect the money that these poor people are seeing as evil at the end of the day. Which at the end of the day, the gap continue to bridge, and before you know, these rich people remain at the top, and these poor people continue to go down until a point where they have nothing to survive again. Then death becomes inevitable, frustration comes in, and a lot of things. A lot of people are guilty of this. Even on social media, they scroll endlessly and they keep looking for free things because they believe that money is the root of all evil. So that is the first point. The second point is spending versus investing. As I have said, the poor always feel the little money they have, they need to save it. But the unfortunate reality is, no matter how hard you save, things will continue to go up, inflation will continue to go up, and sooner or later it will catch up with you, irrespective of the kind of job you are doing. Especially if you are 9 to 5, sorry for yourself, you will never come out of poverty. Your situation will continue to degenerate. That is why you see university professors in Africa keep going for strike, and they can never come out of it because they think it's about saving. Sorry, it's not about saving. While the rich on the other hand spend as investment. Now, the investment does not necessarily mean that you carry money and you go and put in a business. It can be even in improving yourself, just like what I'm teaching here. And I'm teaching this because these are some of the mindset that I've corrected right from childhood that helped me to get to certain things that I'm getting, and I got to a certain level in this particular life. It's a reality. No matter how you dodge it, you will never come out of poverty, because if you refuse to shift this mindset, spending on even learning certain skill is investment. Don't see it as a waste. Even books, there are books that you read. I can confidently tell you that I've read some books and I've seen the mindset behind how rich people think. I've watched on video and I've seen how it is. Poor people think spending money or saving it is they are saving for the rainy day. But sorry, inflation is designed to collect that money back, because money is not meant to be saved. From the perspective of accounting, I'm telling you this. So that means if you want to come out of poverty, it means you must learn how to use your money wisely. The investment can come in various forms, even in learning skill, even in getting assets, and getting a host of other things. So the next step is education. Yes, this education remain very, very important, because most of the time poor people think learning starts and ends in school. So they go to collect the certificate hoping that one day that certificate will become useless. Trust me, there is a 99% chance that the certificate will become useless if you don't have any skill to offer. So the rich, on the other hand, are constantly striving for knowledge, learning new things. As I'm speaking, as I'm teaching you guys in this video, I've spent every day of my life learning new skill. While the poor people, after the education, after the conventional education, they go to look for Netflix. They are looking for entertainment. In the concept of the rich world, education is about constant learning. The learning does not start and end in the four walls of the classroom. We have the conventional learning, which is the one that takes place in the classroom. We have the self-discovery education, which you have to discover your skill and your talent, which you will now go into the vocational side of things. That means the vocational side of things means you need a mentor. You need key people that are doing very well in a particular point where you follow to learn, because the one you learn in the classroom does not end there. You need to get mentors and then get experience and then build your own expertise. The real money comes from expertise. That means building your expert, showing people that you are an expert in a particular field. That is where the real money comes. It's not by begging. It's not by going to people's comment section and shouting amen. It's not by going people's comment and saying I am touched. It's not by going on social media and screaming help me. It's not by going on social media and hoping that one day somebody will just send money to your account. It doesn't work. Use social media to show your expertise in whatever field you study. It's possible I'm able to do some of these things because I did not combine what I learned in school alone. I combine what I learned in school from what I learned in the outside world and what I learned from my own self, from my own skill, to help me build myself as an individual. So you need to understand this thing and you need to pay close attention. That is why I'm breaking down this thing. Now, the next thing is we talk about fear of losing, taking risk. Yes, poor people are always scared of losing. They always feel they are not supposed to spend money on certain things. So if they spend it, what will be their own return? My money will go, I will not get it back. Trust me. The worst, so they keep chasing for the next free thing, to the next free thing, to the next free thing, and at the end of the day, they end up with what we call mental paralysis. What is mental paralysis? Mental paralysis is a state where you accumulate so much information in your brain to a point that you cannot execute any. Then it becomes useless. That is the reality that most poor people end up. That is why they are scrolling every minute on social media, billions of views without any tangible result at the end. They forget that the real result takes after consuming the information. You need to act, because without acting, that is very, very wrong. So they are always scared, while the rich, on the other hand, they identify, they are very, very focused, they are very, very calculative, they understand, they study, they look at what is working, then they take the risk to make it better, and from there they build an empire of wealth around it, while the poor is busy gallivanting looking for the next free thing. Following this same concept, I had a discussion with someone. He said people in authority don't care about the poor. I asked him a very simple question: what is the overall goal of money? How did money came into existence? Money was introduced for trade by barter. That means since money was introduced for trade by barter, it means as human being, we are not created to be idle. We are not created to be useless. We are not created to be waiting for other people to feed us. We need to take calculated risks. We need to invest in ourselves. We need to make ourselves better. So you need to be conscious of that, and that is the only way you come out of poverty, and that is the only way you become better. Now, the next point you have is trading time for money, leveraging time and money. As I have said, most poor people don't know the value of time. It's when they get older they wish they did so many things. You see, every second you waste in your life is gone forever, and it will never come back. And as you age, your strength reduces. That means if you don't train yourself at a very young age to work very hard, to use your brain very well, it's going to be very difficult for you to do that in your old age. Trust me, most successful people that you see today, when they were young, they work very hard, and even at that high level, I've seen a couple of senior people who still work up to 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m., while others are busy snoring like they are making rehearsals on how to die the next morning. So these are the realities you must prepare yourself. A lot of people who have met me, saw some of the things I'm doing online, they ask me how am I doing it and coping with the offline world. The reality is you need to face it. It's either you face it or you forget about it, or you remain in that perpetual state of poverty until you die and keep blaming people for not helping you, because nobody is going to help you. Nobody knows your pain better than you do. You know your pain better than any human being on this earth surface. Now, so this is where you begin to look at trading your time for valuable information. There are information that might not be complete. Do well to sacrifice something little to get them. Do well to connect with mentors, connect with people that are doing very well in that particular niche. Because at the end of the day, that time that you invested, you are going to learn a lot of things. There are things I learned because I was very conscious of my time. Rather than sitting down to watch Netflix, watch movie, I've learned a lot of things that it's possible for me to put them together and build something out of nowhere. And trust me, people will pay money to get it from me. So these are the realities. So you need to be very, very conscious of that. So that is how, even in one of my videos where I break down how rich people become very successful. Now, by the time, that is why a lot of people are looking for jobs, because they don't invest their time wisely. So people who invest this time wisely, they build empire. Then they hire these people who don't invest their time wisely. They buy off the whole of their time, and then they take the lion's share. Yes, that's how big companies operate. Then they become very, very rich. The owners, the CEO will be driving cars of reading billions of naira, billions of dollars, while the workers are struggling to be paying taxi transport to work. Because at the end of the day, by the time they build up this system, they hire these people who don't have anything outside the conventional copy and paste that they train in school. Then at the end of the day, they waste that whole time for the interest of these very big people who are here, who set up the system. Because building a system requires a lot of brain work, requires a lot of risk and a lot of stuff which you have to grow through the process. You cannot do it overnight. So you need to be very, very mindful of that. The next point is surrounding yourself with average thinkers. Yes, with your network. So watch out for the network of people you have. While I was growing up, one of the key things I told myself is I will never identify myself with people who complain a lot, because that is the most dangerous part to take. Because a lot of people have been destroyed because they have attached themselves with people who always feel people are not treating them well. See, the bitter truth is there's nobody that's not treating you well. You are your own enemy. You are the one that is not treating yourself well by not investing in yourself, because nobody is going to invest on yourself on your behalf. So that means if you don't invest in yourself, complaining is going to be part of you and it's going to remain in you, and you become a tool to be used for people's interest. Because when you are complaining, you become very gullible, you become very easily manipulated. Any slight information, people can use it to work on your emotion, because you are gullible, you are vulnerable. People will use you anyhow. A lot of people have been sent to death because they were gullible. Somebody misled them and told them that, come, I will help you do this, and at the end of the day, they ended up where they are. Even those who go online to do scam, they ended up in that way because they refused to invest their time wisely. They were busy chasing some other things, and at the end of the day, they became victims of circumstance. So learn to surround yourself. That is why you need mentors. Now, live every day by the goal, as it is said here. Poor people live every day as a goal. They don't have long-term strategy. There's no short-term strategy. They just live. All they believe is one day it will be better. One day something good will happen. One day somebody will send money to your account that you didn't work for. Okay, don't worry. Let's see the magic that will happen. It will never happen. Every day they are praying. Every day they are hoping that one magic will happen. Every day they are hoping that one revolution will happen so that they will go and steal other people's wealth. Every day they are hoping that one revolution will happen so that they will go and destroy other people's wealth who work very hard to build those wealth. See, it will never work. Go and set up your own system. Go and set up your own long-term strategy. Go and set up your own lifetime design, how you want your life. Because what you do today is going to be what your life will look like tomorrow is going to be the manifestation of the decision you take today. Because what you are seeing today in your life, if everything around you today is bad, it means it is a reward for the kind of decision you took yesterday. That means if you are not happy with the kind of decision you are seeing in your life today, it means you need to readjust. Because trust me, everybody is here on his own journey. Nobody will go with you. You have to stand by yourself. You have to really work very hard and build a roadmap for your own financial success, as it is clearly stated here. Now the next point is, our source usually job. So most workers, people who suffer in perpetual state of poverty, they build one stream of income because they believe that all you need is to work, get the money. They don't look at building a system. Real people who build well build system. By building system, they have multiple streams of income. They are doing 9 to 5, they have other businesses they are running, they are controlling things here, they are controlling things here. By so doing, before you know, because our human being, as human being, we are designed in a way that there is a maximum amount of hours you can work. You can only work for 24 hours. That means if you are strong enough, then you need to go and rest. But when you have systems, other people will be doing the work while you are busy collecting the glory, which is part of the financial reward you get. That is why you see most of the rich people, they hire people a lot. Then the mindset about work, yes, most people think, as I've said, they think it's have to work hard, but they forget that the real money, the real concept of wealth is comes by building, by working smart. And how does working smart to obtain? This is where the reality comes into play. Working smart is not by defrauding people. Working smart is about setting up system rather than just working physically every day, because when you are not there, things will not work. But if you are working smart, you can set up systems that even when you are not there, other people are running it, you are taking the glory. And this is where another big aspect of it comes into play, where you need to study what other people are doing. You don't just do things because somebody is making money from it, then you jump into it. Trust me, that business will crash land before you even do anything. So you need to understand. I'm going to be breaking this possibly as the last point, where I talk about all, both the rich and the poor are doing trial and error. I'm going to break this. The trial and error here is the rich are working very hard, the poor too are also working very hard, but there's a thin line that separates it. Let's go. When we get to the end, I'll break it down. Now, this is another dangerous one when it comes to vision. The poor are always complaining, this my landlord is very wicked, this my co-workers are very wicked, my oga at the top is very wicked, they don't care about me. It's all about people don't care about you, people don't care about you. You are complaining about every single damn problem. You are complaining about every single human being. Trust me, if you don't fix this mindset, you will never come out of poverty. You must find a way to fix this. Fix this from this very moment and correct it, rather than focusing on solution. The best way to come out of poverty is focus on solution. When you focus on solution, trust me, you are going to learn a lot of things. At the end of the day, those things you learn, you can use it, you can sell those solutions to other people, and at the end of the day, you make more money. That means while you are helping yourself, you are also helping other people, because the concept of making money is about solving problems. And in solving other people's problems, you make more money. While they are busy complaining, you are making the solution available for them. And trust me, in the long run, it's going to be an added advantage for you, because the world is structured in a way that out of over 1 million people, the number of people who focus on solution are not up to 1,000. So that is the reality. So if you can fall within this 1,000, you'll be able to collect a share of this 1 million people that are complaining. Then it will become a millionaire in your life, and you grow further. I just gave you a $1 billion secret. That is how we run it in this particular world. Now, to break down that particular concept of trial and error that I said, all the rich, both the rich and the poor, will all do trial and error. But what exactly is the difference between this, the rich trial and error and the poor trial and error? That is why we talk about the concept of being smart. In being smart, while the poor work hard, let's say for example, we talk about consistency in content creation. Now, most poor people will go and create an account on social media, and they are going to be posting back to back, doing all sort of rubbish posting, random things, and at the end of the day, it will never work. I almost ended up in that same mess. I have a Facebook page that lasted for a very long period of time, but let me show you guys the proof now. Now, if you look at this particular Facebook page now, I have 1.5 million views. Wow. Is it by just doing trial and error? Yes, there's an element of trial and error in it. But what makes the difference between what I was posting before back to back and what I was posting that later changed it to make me start having 1 point something million views in a month? What did I do? That is what I'm going to be breaking down now for you to learn. So while the poor focuses on trial and error, posting things, doing things anyhow, hoping that one day will work, because I've seen a content creator advises his followers to do that don't worry, whether you don't know about it or you know about it, just go and create, just go and continue to do it. Definitely one day it will work. Trust me, it will never work. The chances of, even if it works, you will not notice it, and even when it's not working, you will just be doing it, and at the end of the day you become frustrated. But for it to work, the biggest difference between the poor and the rich is there's a concept of what we call A/B testing. Let me see if I can see it here. Now, A/B testing is a very powerful process that if you want to come out of poverty, especially in whatsoever field, in whatsoever business you want to go into, you must understand this very well. We'll have B here, which is the yellow, and then we'll have A here. Now, A/B testing is a concept of, is a trial and error concept where you have two samples. We have sample A and sample B having the same characteristics, but you tweak some of the few characteristics and then you work on it to see which one is performing better and which one is not performing better. In some instances, you have more than two. They can go even up to 5 samples. Then, for example, you are a tailor, you have these two clothes. This clothes is native and this clothes is English wear. Now you go to the market, you put them on a stand, and then you see how many people come to buy this one. So this is native. Let's say, for example, this is native, and then this very one is English wear. Now, by the time you take them to the market, maybe 50 pieces, then you look at it. By the end of the day, how many people bought this? How many people bought this? Then you do your calculation. From there, you know which one you should focus on. If people buy this English more, that means you focus more on this English and you forget about this one. Even if you supply this one, you supply it less. So it cut across every aspect of life. And before you get to this level, we have what we call visibility studies in every business. Visibility study is very, very important. That means you go at the back end to study what people who are doing what you want to go into, to see how they are doing it and what are the steps that are involved, what are the strategies involved, and how do they go to get to the level they are. So these are underground things that you hardly see anyhow. So you need to be mindful of it. You want to go into content creation, they tell you just create and begin to post and be consistent. It's never gonna work. There are processes, you must follow all through these processes, from the first step of creating those accounts, to picking your niche, to optimizing your profile, and then to the kind of content you have. You are going to ask yourself a lot of questions. Now, when it comes to the aspect of the content, you ask yourself, what type of content? Are they video? Are they text? Then what are the processes of producing this content? Are you going to be using ChatGPT? Are you going to be recording live video? Are you going to be recording it? Are you going to be editing it? If you are going to be editing it, what are the tools you need to edit? For the graphic, which softwares are you going to be using? Okay, those softwares, how do you use those softwares? So by the time you ask yourself a whole lot of questions, you see that you come out with volume of information that you will need to sit down and work. So that is a reality that most people don't tell people. And that was what I did that gave me this 1.5, this 1.8 million views. When I clocked this 1 million views on this particular account, on this particular handle, I posted it and I explained the processes. I document it, and I'm even documenting more. I'm still breaking down more of these things. So it's not just about just doing things. Even when it comes to freelancing, you cannot just say you want to do freelancing and you begin to do things anyhow. Trust me, you are going to be frustrated. At the end of the day, nothing is going to work and you are going to dump it. And anybody who tells you that just be consistent, trust me, you are just on your way to fail. And you are going to fail woefully in a way that you will never like it. So it is only a person who doesn't have sense that will do the wrong thing over and over again and expect one day that it will work. Just like one of the content creators that misled his follower, that even if they are doing the wrong thing, they should continue doing it, that one day it will work. Trust me, you cannot be going out of your house every day without a direction and hoping that one day something good will come out of it. It will never work. You are going to be wasting your time. If you don't have a direction, you just wake up, you go to the market and you come back. You don't have a clear picture of what you are going to sell. You don't have a clear picture of the business you are going to do. You just go there. Trust me, you are going to be frustrated. And at the end of the day, you see others grow while you remain stagnant. So I believe you learned something in this particular video. So that is how these rich people do things that most of us don't really understand. The mindset in which they work with these things, they build this mindset, then at the end of the day, they build a behavior around it. Because the bitter truth is it's about habit. Yes. When you don't train yourself to behave in a particular way, trust me, you cannot come out of that state. And this is why some people see poverty as generational curse. Yes, because it is a habit that was handed over to your parent, and then your parent handed over to you. If that habit is not a productive habit, you are going to repeat that same habit, and it's going to take a lot of effort to break out of that habit, which means you are going to do a lot of research. you are going to do a lot of correction, and you know it's very difficult to make correction on certain level, because some families, the day you want to begin to move out of that behavior that is keeping them poor, they are going to see you as somebody who doesn't want to obey them. That is why you have to really be determined in coming out of this. I believe you learned something in this particular video, so do well to follow. I'm going to be breaking more things down as time goes on in this particular video, so don't be deceived by this information that you see on social media anyhow. Why there are high value information on social media, you need to be very careful, because at the end of the day there is so much noise than the really value that we are talking about here. Because if you don't focus, you are going to end up with what you call mental paralysis, and by the end of the day you become handicapped and you wouldn't know what to do. And implementation matters a lot. If you're implementing the wrong thing, no matter how hard you work, it will not work. So you need to begin to adjust these things and take your time and see. Let me browse through it again from the top in case you don't remember. Do well to take note. You start from mindset, what you spend, your education, your attitude, your time management. Time matters a lot, because as you grow into success, one of the biggest resources that you are going to need is time. Trust me, because I got to a stage where it's not everybody's call I pick. It's not everybody that requests something from me that I attended to, because I cannot waste my time on unproductive people while leaving people that are productive to work with. Your goals, you need to be able to set goals every day. How many content do you want to be posting every day? What do you want your life to look like in the last 5-10 years to come? You need to be strategic and you need to be tactical about it. You need to look at multiple sources of income, your work, and the host of other. So see you guys in my next video. Do well to follow for more.